Hello everyone, welcome to a brand new episode of Inspire Me. I am at one of my favorite spots here in Colombo, and if you have a sweet tooth, this place needs no introduction for you as well. We are at the Skrumptious here in Javath Road, Colombo, and we are going to be in conversation with the founder of Skrumptious, Nilusha De Silva, and let's find out how she gave life to Scrumptious, what her story is, and some strategies, tips, and advice from her to you if you would like to start a brand of this nature on your own. Hi Nilusha, how are you?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I am good, and we are excited to be here and invite you to this show today. So, thank you for your time.
Most
And so, to begin the conversation, everybody knows Scrumptious. We know how divine and delicious and how heavenly the brownies are, the chocolate biscuit pudding, the trifles, the tiramisu, all of that. So, what we have in front of us is some of the packaging that goes to your clients, and the taste, the quality is nothing new to anyone. Everybody knows the taste, but people hardly know the back end story of Scrumptious. How did Scrumptious come to life? Let's talk about that story.
Right. So, Scrumptious came to life when I decided to join the Postgraduate Institute of Management to do my MBA. I decided to. We were supposed to do a project, a research or a skills project, and I chose to do a skills project. And then for that, I thought I should, consider starting my own business venture. But I've always wanted to do this since I was a child, but I thought I would not be able to since I didn't have any experience in the business domain. And I was always thinking, what if it doesn't work out? But when I joined PIM and when I went through, after attending all the lectures and doing a lot of analysis on different, analyzing a lot of cases of global brands, I understood that you can make it happen if you focus on the key aspects that's required to take a brand global. So I started working on the 7 P's that they taught us.
Okay.
That was the product, price, promotion, place, people, the physical appearance, and the processes. And then what came out of it was this brand. And how I decided to focus on a single product is when I analyzed global brands such as McDonald's and KFC and other brands which have gone global. I understood that they've selected one product and they've specialized on it, and they've come up with processes that would help them reach global heights. So I did the same thing with Scrumptious. I thought, if they've done it, we should be able to do it too. And it took a long time for people to believe in Scrumptious. But that helped too. The fact that people didn't pay much attention in a way helped for us to not be considered as a competitor by a lot of bakeries and food companies in the country. And in a way, I was also not competing with anybody because I thought, it's since I had minimal resources, I thought the best would be for me would be that I don't start competing with anybody because I didn't have the strength to compete with the players in the market. And so not only because of that, but I also thought that it's not about competing in your own country. It's about you trying to enter into a global market and seeing what we can do to make an impact in the Sri Lankan economy so that all the businesses in this country would do well. So that's the kind of mindset I had at that time, and I started working on these aspects little by little until we reached a certain point where people actually started seeing results and believing in us. And I think it worked well, and I think it would work for anybody because these theories have been proven.
Yes.
So if anybody focuses on these aspects, I think they should also be able to do something like this. And when I seeked investment at a very early stage, I didn't take it, but I went and approached investors and I told them that I had a secret recipe, but I didn't have a secret recipe at that time. All I knew was that I could do it because I was working as a business analyst at Dialog Telecom at that time, and we only got a single line of requirement and we had to develop a system for it. So I thought if you can do that with software, you can most definitely do that with this. So I told people that this is what I'm going to do, and then I started doing it. It took a long while for me to develop the secret recipe, and then I actually, what I did was I broke the recipe to different components, and then outsourced it to different people, and then brought everything together, and I started selling that mix to my own company. So that's how I secured the recipe. So that's essentially the crux of the story.
Okay.
But you can ask me anything.
Yes. So that was the beginning, and what we usually hear from corporates out there, from a lot of people out there, is that you can be book smart, but it's difficult to be street smart.
Right.
And some people argue that do these MBAs, degrees, all these, does it really matter? And this is an example that has proven yes, it matters, and the theories that we learn on books are not are not impractical. They are practical if you think about it in a practical fashion. So I think Nilusha has proven that. And Nilusha, of course, every male dominant industry or domain is represented by females now. It's happening all over the world. Same goes to food and beverage as well. So you are in a fiercely competitive space. You said at the beginning you didn't want to compete and you did not have the strength to compete either. But now, Skrumptious being in 2 locations in Sri Lanka and having a very broad product range, I think you are at a very competitive stance now. So, what kind of personal commitment are you putting into Skrumptious on a day in, day out basis to make sure that you are competitive?
Right. I put the same kind of effort that I put in at the start.
Okay.
We keep our focus on these aspects of making the brand successful. At Skrumptious, none of us speak about competitors. We never worry about what other people are selling.
Yeah.
Because although you feel like we are competing with others in the market, what I feel is that now, for example, if you look at a brand like KFC or McDonald's, one place is selling a burger, the other place is selling a piece of chicken. It's not like these things are not available anywhere else, but they've captured a market by being by focusing on a single product. So what we've done with Skrumptious is that we've specialized on brownies, and not many people have done that in Sri Lanka. So because there are brownie companies now, but it's not just about focusing on a single product, but it is also getting the processes right, getting most people now during in situations like this, during the pandemic especially, a lot of people cut down their costs, a lot of people increase their prices, and what most people try to do is that they try to see how they can make a lot of money really fast.
Yeah.
So whereas we don't think of that, we think long term all the time. We look at how Skrumptious could survive long term, how Skrumptious could compete in a global market, rather than seeing how we can win the market share locally.
Yeah.
So I've never felt that kind of pressure even during these tough times, to be very honest. And I also feel like when you don't compete with others, I don't think they tend to compete with you as well, because this is a huge market. You're looking at a big audience, so
Yes.
I don't see a need to compete.
As long as your offer is unique.
Exactly.
And your commitment has to be 24/7, is it?
Absolutely. More than physically being present, I think mentally, and having that strong mindset that you want to achieve this somehow without compromising on your values or anything is good enough for you to I think stay strong.
What I have seen in Skrumptious is that Skrumptious continuously reinvents itself.
Right.
When the brand was, I don't know whether I'm talking about the absolute outset, but when I visited my first time, I only saw brownies in the menu. But now you have the trifles, the tiramisus, all that, and you even have the coffees, milkshakes, all of that. And even celebrities come here to enjoy your food and beverage. So reinvention and research is also important.
Right. Of course, yes. We see how we can, add things to our menu without having any negative impact on the brand.
Okay.
So we don't do things that would, make the consumer feel like, we are losing our focus, or we we are trying to sell everything under the sun. But it's just adding a few items so that the customers also get to try something new and to, but the focus is always on chocolate and sweets and desserts. So yeah, so we've done a few things to
make sure
make sure that
it's more than
Yeah.
more than what you had in the incept,
Absolutely.
but never deviate from the focus.
Absolutely, yes.
All right. So starting as a one-man show,
Right.
and being a continuous customer myself, I have seen the team you have now is very dynamic, very energetic, friendly. You feel it's a welcoming experience at Scrumptious at both outlets. So how have you become this mentor or the person who builds this team? What sort of things do you do to make sure that your team is so energetic and dynamic and they love what they do? Because this is also important for you to keep your brand light.
Right, yes. So when somebody joins Scrumptious, I tell them at the outset, at the outset itself, that they're not going to learn much about baking, and they're not going to get the experience that they'll get at a hotel or at another bakery or a cafe or restaurant. It's going to be different. But it'll help them in some way to understand, because most of them have big dreams. Most of the people who come to Scrumptious are supremely talented. So I learn a lot from them, and I always think, I'm pretty sure that they'll achieve more than what we've achieved. So I always tell them, they speak of big things. So I tell them, okay, if you are to do all these things, then it's not just the baking or the experience that you get by being in this field that would help you to build a brand. So you've got to learn how to sell a product, and if you're to create a global brand, then this is a good experience for you to see the hardships that you have to go through to get there. Because the younger generation, as much as they're so talented and they're so ambitious, they don't want to put in so much effort to get to that point. So they see what I go through on a daily basis to get to that level. So I've told them, I'm going to give not my 100 but my 200% to make this happen. And if not for anybody else, since I've given them that promise, I have to do it for my staff to, because I've given them the promise of taking this to global heights. So they've been my greatest support, because if not for them, I don't think I would be able to achieve so much. So as much as they've helped me to build my dream, I always feel that it's only fair if I help in some way to build theirs.
Exactly. So showcasing your commitment to the business, to the brand, really becomes an inspiration to the rest of the people as well. So you have come a long way, Nilusha, since you started. We are talking of a brand that's not new to any Sri Lankan, and probably people who are living out of Sri Lanka as well. So what's your advice to the younger version of Nilusha? When you started, you might be wondering now, what if someone came and gave me this advice when I started? I really missed that. So is there any advice of that sort?
To be very honest, I did get a lot of advice. I got a lot of advice from my family and my friends, and so
what I mean is, if you have the chance to give an advice to another 20-year-old who's coming out of their MBA to start something like
one
this.
thing that actually people told me, I did get a lot of advice from family, friends, and influential people and business owners and all of them, and my lecturers. But apart from that, something that a lot of people used to talk about at that time was about having a good network. Meeting influential people and having a strong network. So what I'd like to say with my own experience is that it's not about who you know, but it's about who you are that helps you do well in life. Because at an early stage, if you start without having a proper just a vision is also not good enough. If you don't have results to show anybody, and if it's not a win-win situation, and if you don't have anything to offer to the other party, they would not be interested in spending time with you. So in order to have a strong conversation, you need to also be able to offer something. Either your business idea has to be good, or you should develop it to a certain level and go and pitch it so that they will show some interest. But just going and meeting people and meeting influential people and going for all this social gatherings and being very active on Facebook and Instagram is not going to be helpful if you don't have something solid. Something to
a solid proposition.
That's right. So I think for me, I understood this. Although people had told me also, you need to be part of this network and that network, I didn't want to be part of anything. I just wanted advice, but I didn't want to waste time. So that helped me immensely to be focused and get the job done really fast, because when you go for all these gatherings and this network and that network, your focus goes away.
Yes.
And you end up doing things that's not required for your own business. So I think that's one advice that I would give my 20-year-old self. Which
When networking, be selective. Yeah.
yeah, and also network when it's required,
Required.
not just for the sake of meeting people and to
Yeah,
be
yeah.
known in the society. People will get to know you when the time comes. They'll get to know you. So wait for that time. That's what I would like to say to my own self.
Exactly. So we were in conversation with Nilusha De Silva, the founder of this divine brand, Skrumptious. It's nothing new, like I said to anyone out there. We all know this brand. We all have tasted and indulged this brand. So the conversation was very inspiring and exciting, and I personally learned a lot of things. My final question to you, Nilusha, is yes, the MBA you did, the studies you did, the theories you studied has tremendously helped you to build your brand. That's a fact. Other than, besides these paper qualifications or what you learn at school and academies, what other traits should a person have, personal traits, to become successful? Let's not say successful, to become impactful, to make to celebrate quietly, to accomplish quietly, but to make loud noise, loud
Right.
impact. What sort of a personality should you become?
I think you have to be an honest person, and you need to have basically a clear conscience. I think that's what I think that has helped me. I don't think I have made a huge impact already, but I hope this brand would one day. So if at all it does, I think it's because I've been extremely honest with all the people that I've worked with my staff, to with my even the people who have rented out their space to me. They've been very supportive to me, and that's, I think, because I've been honest. During tough times, I've told them about my problems, and they've helped me out.
Yeah.
And during good times, I've told them that things are good, and I've done my part. But being honest and having a clear conscience has always helped me. When I say clear conscience, I mean to say that I'm not doing this brand, and I didn't start this brand because I wanted to make money for myself.
Yeah.
I did it because I wanted to make an impact in a way that it would help a lot of people to do well in life, especially my staff members and
Yes.
all the people who have supported me. So I want to see that happen. And when that happens, I think I'll be a very happy person. And what I mean by having a clear conscience is that when you reach a certain target, and when you achieve goals, some people may think that you're happy because you achieve so much,
Yeah.
but you might not be happy.
Exactly.
So I think if you work honestly and if you do things with good intentions, people will see that you're happy, and you'll also be happy inside. So that's what I really want to achieve in life.